So folks, for the next 2 days, everything I need to survive is in this kayak here. So today we're gonna be kayaking 6 miles out to remote Florida Keys Island, where we're gonna be setting up camp, fishing, kayaking, and exploring, and just having a great, relaxing time away from the main strip here in the Florida Keys. So without further ado, let's hop in the kayak and begin our trip. So this is definitely my most aggressive kayak trip yet. I have never done an overnight kayak fishing trip or kayak so much in a straight line distance. We have 6 miles to go way to the edge of the bay right there where the flats start to drop off in the Gulf. But I'm really thinking by kayaking all the way out to the edge of the Keys to a pretty remote spot should yield us some interesting results, and we should be able to explore some relatively unexplored areas. The conditions are pretty nice. We've got a little bit stronger wind than I would have liked. It was supposed to be 5 miles or less. It's maybe around 10 miles right now. So as long as we stay in the shallow spots, we shouldn't have to deal with too much swell or whitewater, which is definitely what we want with all this gear in the kayak. So a 6 mile pedal ahead of us here should take us probably around 3 hours. So let's sit back, relax, and kayak across the Florida Keys Flats to our remote destination. So we're currently a little over an hour into our kayak journey here. We pedaled about 2.5 miles so far, which puts us almost halfway. It's a slow crawl out to the islands, going maybe 2-3 miles an hour right now. But it's just great to be out here in the Florida Keys, enjoying the warm weather, the beautiful turquoise water. We haven't even made it halfway to the island yet, and I'm already incredibly stoked. So this is the edge of the lower Keys down here. My mind is blown just arriving here in this location. Right beyond those islands is the Gulf of Mexico, and it just drops off like this. So you have a lot of deep water coming in. Right now my kayak's actually getting pushed back a little to the southeast just because of the current flowing over the flats right here. But these flats and these islands around here should hold a lot of fish, and it is just so cool checking out such a unique environment. We're about 5 miles away from where we started, way back there, if you can see those houses shining in the distance. And we still got about a half mile till we get to the spot we're gonna set up camp before we can abandon some of our camping stuff, lighten up the kayak, and then go explore and find some fish out here. So let's get back in the yak, back on the move, but it is so cool to be out here on the literal edge of the Keys. This is absolutely one of the coolest and most unique places I've ever had the opportunity to journey to, especially via kayak. It took quite the pedal to get here. 6 miles and change. We're not even to where we're going to set up camp, but this spot is just incredible to look at. As you can see on my left side, you've got this really turquoise, kind of almost a deep dark green in some spots, colored water. And then on my right side here, you've got some crystal clear, much more translucent water, and that's just because the depth here just drops off like this. It looks to be maybe 8 to 10 feet deep in the middle here, sometimes just rubbing right up against the edge of the mangroves, and that makes for some pretty fantastic habitat and just such a cool environment to be in. This little creek that I'm in right now is naturally carved just from water flowing from the Gulf of Mexico through the Florida Keys Flats out to the Atlantic, and I've already seen a whole bunch of life just on the edge of the mangroves right here. So right now we got maybe half mile left on our trek up to our camp, but I'm just taking this all in. Just such a surreal spot to be. Found a really perfect little spot right here off this small beach. And this is gonna be our base camp where we're gonna be fishing out of for the rest of today as well as tomorrow. So actually a lot of boat traffic out, a lot of people out here today because it is such a beautiful day. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm just gonna set up my tent here, and then we're gonna get back in the yak and get to fishing. So let's get our camp set up so we can get to fishing this afternoon and catch ourselves some dinner. And there we are, our camp is set up for the next 2 days. Now, we ditched most of our camping stuff here on land so we can be a lot more nimble on the kayak, fish a lot more aggressively. So let's get back out to the yak and explore the incredible waters that surround this island and just the entire edge of the lower keys. Thank you, nice to meet you. So we're back afloat, back in the yak, just set up our base camp. We're gonna be operating out of for the next 36 hours or so. Now the fun part really begins. There is so much water and so much structure to cover out here where there could be so many fish and so many different types of fish hiding. So our first priority is gonna be to find some bait. However, I did bring some artificials out here with me that would definitely catch some fish, but down here in Florida, live bait is key. And I would feel much more confident having a bucket full of pilchards or mullet behind me that we can chunk up or fish live along some of this mangrove and channel structure. So right now I'm just kind of scanning the water, see if I see any bait flicking. So that's gonna be our immediate priority. See if we can't find some bait that we can throw the cast net on top of and throw in our bucket. So the bait search begins. All right, I just found a big school of pilchards we just ran over right there. Now these should not be too hard to gather up once I get a good toss. There they are right there. Damn, terrible throw. No, I don't know what happened in the net, but that is not good. Looks like we have one of our lines here that snapped and was causing quite a bit of a mess while we were trying to catch that bait here. In order for us to use this cast net and catch some bait, we gotta fix this, which I do not think is gonna be super easy. Never repaired a cast net before, but no time like the present. All right, I think we're back in business. All right, let's get back on top of these pilchards. See if we can't get ourselves some revenge. Come on, get somebody. Get somebody. Damn it, dude. How the hell does this even get that piled up? So there we go. I don't know if the camera was rolling for that, but we just got ourselves a solid 3 dozen pilchards maybe, which is gonna be perfect for these last couple hours of light I have to fish. So let's throw them in the live well here. We didn't need a whole bunch of bait, just enough that we could catch some fish to cook up for dinner. And there we go. So we finally got the bait we so desperately needed. We got some live pilchards, some dead. So we're gonna take one of these guys and just rig them up here on this 1/4 ounce jig head. The current here is just ripping. So I'm pulling up to one of these little channels that runs right next to the mangroves. And I think the best way we're gonna be able to fish this is just to drift it with the current, because there is an incredibly strong current ripping through this channel. There's a fish. There's a fish right there. Oh no. So there we go. Just ran into the edge of the mangrove right there. We got ourselves our first fish of the day, and that is a keeper mangrove snapper. And he inhaled that jig head. So live pilchard right on the edge of the mangroves, got bit pretty quickly. That's why I tried so many times to throw that cast net around, so that we'd have some fresh baits that these guys absolutely love. All right, let's give this guy a quick measure. I believe they got to be 10 inches here in the Gulf. Yeah, that guy I'll keep all day right there, 11.5 inches. First fish of the day, keeper mangrove snapper, and he's gonna taste delicious on our little island catch and cook later. Stick this guy back here, let him bleed out. And let's get back up in the mangroves, cast another pilchard in there. Now this looks like the perfect spot for some big remote mangroves to be hanging out. I'm just gonna cast them up against the mangrove right there, right in the structure. Oh, there we go. There we go. Mangrove. Oh, that's a good one there too, baby. Boom, just watch them come out. That is a nice mangrove right there, baby. Super solid mangrove. Yeah, he's gonna go 15.5 inches right there. Oh. So there we go, solid backcountry mangrove snapper. Just an actually gorgeous fish, and he is gonna taste so good later. Just had to get off the beaten path a little bit, and here we are in a dead end creek, and I've seen so many more snapper just come out of the mangrove, investigate what's going on, because you really cannot get back here via boat, and I doubt many kayakers venture back this far. Oh my gosh, there's so many snappers right here. That's not a little guy. There we go. We are just doming the snappers here. So that would be yet another keeper right there, but not a monster, and there's definitely some monsters in this ultra remote little creek. So I'll send that guy back. Make sure his friends think everything's fine. Then we're gonna drop another pilcher down there. Also, a ton of little no-see-ums are tearing me up right now, but it's just an instant bite. Little guys down there too, though. Little guy. Oh. Lead me to the master of the mangroves. Not you, little buddy. See you, dude. Oh. These no-see-ums are relentless back here. There's a big fish. I don't know what that is. What do we have here? I don't think that's a mangrove. I was complaining about these bugs. What in the world do we have here? Oh, broke me off. Just hooked something huge. Well, first heartbreaker here just took me right into the mangroves. I was not prepared for that. That could have been a Goliath. Just judging by the way it went straight to the mangroves and had way more weight than anything else I'd hooked. Also could have been a snook, which would be pretty annoying, or it could have just been a monstrous mangrove snapper. But I'm gonna get out of here now anyways, especially after losing that fish. Probably scared any other big fish out. Oh, there we go. I'm just getting murdered though by these bugs back here. Let's get out of here and well, go find some other little creek to poke our head in. Oh, there's big fish here. Oh yeah, giants. I have never seen so many giant mangrove snappers in my life. There are some monsters down there too. Makes sense, there's an eddy coming off the current right here that's just throwing everything right into those mangroves. Let's give it a cast out there. Is that a fish? There's one mangrove. Yep, that's another keeper right there for sure. We're allowed 5 of these guys here in the Gulf, so we're working hard for these fish. This is number 3 that we're keeping right now, and the 5th keeper we've caught so far. Already released 2 of them. Awesome. That's a good one there. That's a big snapper there, baby. Yeah, buddy. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about right there. That is a solid mangrove here out of the mangroves, and there are some that dwarf this guy. Wow, and they are just fired up. This spot is an absolute mecca for snappers. Let's bleed this guy out. And now we're allowed one more fish, and we got ourselves a mangrove snapper limit. All right, and this will be our last bait, last little pilchard that we got here. See if she can't get smoked. Okay, never mind, going just like that. Check this guy out. What is that, a raccoon? Oh, it's a raccoon. Not the exotic wildlife I was looking for. So it took a while to get out here, get situated, catch bait. But finally, we were able to get ourselves a couple fish. So in our kayak, we have a couple really nice mangrove snapper that we're gonna be filleting up and eating tonight, as well as saving and bringing back to shore with us when we return tomorrow night. So with that being said, I'm absolutely starving, burned a bunch of calories getting out here, and some fresh caught mangrove snappers sounds pretty delicious right now. So let's get into our kayak here, fillet these mangroves up. We'll put some of them on ice, and then we'll also cook them up right here on our own Florida Keys Island. That's a nice plump mangrove right there, and these guys are very simple to fillet and absolutely delicious on the dinner table. Just gonna cut them right here behind the head. Oh yeah, there's a beautiful mangrove snapper fillet. And there we go. That's gonna be dinner. So here is our mangrove snapper fillet. It really does not get much fresher than this. They didn't even have time to make it to the ice, kind of still flopping around in the back of my kayak there, but we are quickly losing daylight out here, and oh, I did not realize how bad the bugs would be. Let's make this a fast and filling dinner. It's been a long day so far, and we got another long day planned. So a very simple recipe for us here. Tonight we just got some olive oil and some Old Bay and some fresh caught mangrove snapper. So let's fire up our little portable stovetop and get to cooking. And there we go, we have fire. Let's heat up some of our olive oil here. Now for our mangrove snapper here, just a light dose of Old Bay. Season that fillet up, give us some flavor out here. And there we go, beautiful mangrove snapper fillet caught just a couple minutes ago down here in the Florida Keys. All right, and that should be a wrap on our mangrove snapper dinner right here. Ta-da! All right, so snapper's done. Now we're gonna heat up some corn tortillas here just to give ourselves a couple extra carbs tonight. Already got a little bit of oil and seasoning in there. Just gonna lay these guys down. Just get them a little bit warmed up and a little crispy to wrap our snapper up in. Oh, delicious, bro. So there goes the last little bit of daylight that we had. Thankfully, it is a full moon though, so we got some extra backup light now that the sun's gone. But just gonna grab our tortilla here. Really simple recipe. I mean, doesn't get much simpler than this. Just fish on a corn tortilla, but this should be absolutely delicious, especially after a long, chaotic day that we've had. I mean, that fish is delicious, but Those tortillas really bring it all together. And and that's gonna be the perfect little nightcap to our night here. Fishing, camping, and exploring this remote island down here in the Florida Keys. So simple, so good. It's always great to have fresh caught fish, but when you're cooking and eating your catch just a couple 100 yards from where you caught it, out in the wild with nobody around, it really just hits different, for lack of a better term. This is such a gorgeous beach and such a gorgeous remote island. And now that all the weekenders have gone away, I've got it to myself. So I'm gonna clean up our mess from dinner, then we're gonna hit the hay, head to the tent, get out of these bugs finally, and get some rest for day 2 tomorrow. All right, it was time to enter our lair and go to bed. So this is where we're gonna be spending the night. So not really many frills going on in here. We're gonna tuck ourselves in with our towel blanket and microfiber towel and a stuffed sack pillow. And I will catch you folks bright and early tomorrow. Definitely a very chaotic day today, as these camping trips are something pretty new to me. But tomorrow we're gonna be in the kayak doing some flats fishing, and it should be a blast. Stay tuned. Wow, what a gorgeous view. That sunrise alone makes this whole overnight trip worth it. So good morning, folks. Quite a restful night's sleep last night. It is just amazing being out here this morning. Just watched a beautiful sunrise a couple minutes ago. It is glass calm, and before this plane, it was dead silent. But for today's agenda, we're already out here on the outskirts of the lower Keys on the island where we set up camp last night. And there are some tremendous fishing opportunities all around the island. Yesterday, we started off by pitching some baits in the mangroves, got some nice mangrove snapper. But today, if conditions allow, I'd like to venture out to the flats, do some flats fishing, and then maybe head into the mangroves, do some more backcountry fishing as well. But we do need some energy to fuel us up for today's adventure. So I brought some groceries out here to this remote island, straight from Publix, and we're gonna have ourselves a proper breakfast before we begin today's send. So we're not gonna be surviving on just mangrove snapper this trip. We also got ourselves some delicious New York strip that we're gonna cook up and have a nice steak and eggs breakfast this morning. So somehow these eggs survived all of that traveling. Boom. Now we're just gonna salt this steak up, let it sit for a couple minutes while that salt embeds itself. All right, that steak's been sitting there long enough. The salt definitely did its job, so let's fire up our little stovetop here. Gonna cook our steak in some olive oil here. Voila. All right, steak, your time to shine has come. Got all that salt locking all those juices in there. Give this guy a couple minutes sear on each side. Then we'll lower the heat and let it cook all the way through. But cooking a steak on a remote island 6 miles away from any houses or civilization down here in the Florida Keys, it's definitely a proper vibe. All right, that steak looks absolutely incredible. Probably time we can take her off the heat. Put it on our paper plate and let it rest for a little bit. Some fresh oil in our pan. Now let's add our eggs to our island steak and eggs breakfast right here. Oh. Well, I don't know if you could beat a better breakfast than that. An uninhabited island out here. That steak came out absolutely fantastic. Absolutely delicious. Some of our egg here. Put it with our steak. This is a far stretch from the normal gas station breakfast I'm used to. Oh. This is the perfect way to fuel our day. Key is to get a little bit of that avocado in there. And get a little bit of that egg. Find yourself a nice juicy piece of steak to go along with all three. And there you go. You can't beat a bite like that. Whew. We murdered that plate. All right, so just cleaned up from our delicious short breakfast here. Now that we're all fueled up though, it's time to get the kayak back in the water and go explore. We've got about 10 hours of daylight left that we can spend exploring the flats, the little channels, and all that this place has to offer. So I'm stoked. Let's get on the kayak and go find ourselves some fish. You. It is a gorgeous morning down here in the Keys. See some bait jumping already over here. Whew. Look at that visibility, baby. Unreal. Now we got to use this to our advantage. Find some fish. So all we're doing right now, folks, we're just kayaking around. As you can see right here, there's this deep channel that runs through from the Keys Basin out here to the Gulf. And there's a lot of deep water moving through here. And should be a lot of fish. The only thing that is working against me are the conditions that we have this morning, which is cloudier sky than anticipated, and it is way more windy than I wanted here. So I think our sight fishing dreams are going to have to put on pause, at least for a little bit, and we're probably going to have to blind cast around here. There's fish. There's a fish right there. Finally got a bite. I don't know what we have here. Looks like it's got some weight to it. Solid fish, whatever this is. Oh, it's a little yellow jack. No way. Huh. Well, check that guy out. Wow. Well, I was not expecting to run into these guys today. That is a little yellow jack right there that just slammed our pompano jig. Oh no! Oh, I was trying to get a better shot at him and dropped him in the water, but those are a schooling fish, so I was not expecting that at all. I've kind of just been keeping myself here thinking about what possible backup plans I could have because this flats fishing is not going well, and switched up to this pompano jig here. I figured this channel I'm fishing is essentially a highway for fish from the Gulf through the Keys, and there could be just a variety of different species that are going to pass through. And there we go on the pompano jig. There's a fish. Oh, yellowjack? What is that? Oh, it's a cuda. Well, not our intended target right there, but that is a little barracuda. Quick release, just slammed this little bucktail here. Here's a little fish. Tiny little cuda. Well, not looking to catch you, buddy. You guys are taking all my baits. All right, I think we fished this channel enough. Got one yellowjack and a couple small barracudas. Really not much going on. So let's head over to the leeward side of the islands and check out what's going on the flats. despite the lack of fish, this place is just surreal. There goes the sun, but it illuminates literally every inch of water here. You can see all the bottom structure, all the bottom contour, and ideally fish, but there's a fish. Oh, these freaking kudas, man. I wish every fish was as aggressive as you guys. I mean, there goes my voodoo shrimp for another little 14-inch barracuda right there. Thankfully, we came prepared. All this structure, though, is almost too good to be true. So we're just going to drift along this mangrove edge here, making some pitches, looking to see if we find any fish that we're looking for. Oh, there's a fish. Mangrove right there. Oh, that was awesome. Boom. That's how you know a spot is relatively remote, if the snapper is going to be that voracious. Yeah, buddy. Smoke that voodoo shrimp. Well, that's not in the forecast for today. Way down there, the horizon is a line of thunderstorms, it looks like, and a couple funnel clouds are trying to touch down. So I didn't plan on being intercepted by a water spout today, but hey, you can't plan for nature. Although I wish I could plan for some fish. It is a grind out here right now. These mangrove trees are so cool. You can see the root systems right here just protrude all the way down to the sandy, silty bottom here underwater. And these trees, these forests are responsible for keeping the entirety of the state of Florida safe from hurricanes. There's been a bunch of boats going around, and every time a boat wake hits the mangroves, just kind of absorbs it like a sponge. And without these mangroves absorbing all the waves, especially from hurricanes and tropical storms, then most of Florida would be eroded. These mangroves offer just such an incredible habitat to a variety of different fish species. Can't see much down there now, but mangrove snapper, goliath grouper, a whole bunch of other smaller reef fish. These mangrove forests really are the lifeblood of Florida's ecosystem down here. And it is just amazing being able to kayak right up upon them. Just such a pristine, wild area. If only we could find some more fish, though. Sorry, Mr. Ibis. What an incredible ecosystem back here. There's a big fish. That's what got us yesterday on the shrimp. Oh, it's a goliath. Oh! Damn it. Don't break me off again, dude. Oh. Come on, come on. A light leader on the voodoo shrimp. I got you, buddy. Oh, I don't got you. Pretty sure he got off. I might still be on there. Oh, yeah, he's still on there. Gotcha. Got you up, buddy. Oh. Yep, got you. You're mine now. Come on, mister. Come on, mister. Come on, Goliath. Yes. Yes. Where's that net? Come on. Save our trip, buddy. Oh my God. Oh, let's go, baby. There we go, baby. Goliath grouper on ultralight tackle. Look at that. Goliath grouper here in the backcountry. What a gorgeous, gorgeous fish. So I came back here to the depths of the mangroves where we had some luck yesterday catching mangrove snapper on live pilchards. Figured there were a whole bunch of fish here yesterday that we might as well throw around the artificial. Really have not had much luck on it all day long. And first cast here, same exact spot yesterday, we lost some mystery beast. We got this Goliath grouper that hit very similar and felt very similar to the fish yesterday. So pretty full circle moment right here. Just an absolutely beautiful fish. These guys get almost 100 times this size. This is a small, maybe 10, 12 pounder right here, but they get way, way bigger. And that mouth has a lifetime of eating other fish in front of it. So, all right, let's send this guy back. You put up a valiant effort there, Mr. Goliath grouper. Boom. There he goes, back down in the mangroves. It was a journey here, and it's gonna be a journey back. We've got 6 miles against current and wind. This ought to be fun. "36 hours ago, I left this ramp right here in my kayak and set out 6 miles west in pursuit of whatever laid on this island I located on Google Maps. So that was one of the coolest trips I've ever been on. Fishing wise, unfortunately, wasn't really exceptional, but just being in that ecosystem out there, being incredibly remote and spending a night overnight on an uninhabited island was definitely a surreal experience and something I'm so glad I did. So just looking back at the trip, this was the first time I've ever done overnight kayak fishing trip. I'm really just getting into this camping thing, and every trip I do like this is something brand new with a lot of lessons learned. So my notes app is full of lessons from this trip. That being said, though, had a great time exploring the mangroves. Just such a fantastic ecosystem over there. Caught a bunch of mangrove snapper yesterday. Did a catch and cook there on the island. Pitched my tent, got a good night's sleep, and then today was tough on the fishing front. I seem to be always humbled by the flats fish, bonefish, permit, tarpon. Just never have the best luck locating them and getting them to bite, especially fishing the kayak here. It can be pretty tricky when you don't have perfect conditions. But that being said, fantastic trip in the books, and it was great to spend a couple days on my own magical remote gem. So thanks for watching this video. You guys can support the channel by buying some of my merch, link below. And I'm gonna get out of here before I get ate alive by these gnats. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope I'll catch you on the next adventure.